Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to the GSL-English Podcast. My name is Gideon, and I am here to help you to improve your English in a relaxed and comfortable way. And that is exactly what we are going to do today, because this episode is inspired by my wife and I not being very well at the weekend. Okay, we came down with a cold. We were feeling very sorry for ourselves, and at the weekend, we just didn't want to get out of bed. We didn't have the energy or the mental capacity to do anything else but to try and rest, recover, and stay in bed, basically. And on Saturday morning, whilst feeling very sorry for ourselves, whilst feeling very down in the dumps, we said we should put on a film. It's that kind of day. We should just watch films all day, but not any type of films. We suggested that we should watch a cozy film. And that got me thinking, what is a cozy film? We all have different ideas of what a cozy film is. So we're going to elaborate upon that today. We're going to look at exactly what the word cozy means, because we're at that time of year, aren't we, where it's getting a little bit chillier. We've got our autumnal, getting closer to winter clothes on, and it's that cozy film time of year. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to read an article on why we all find different films cozy. You know, what defines a cozy film? And then we're going to see how we can use them to improve our English, and I'm going to share some suggestions with you. So this is a truly relaxed episode. Hopefully, it's a cozy episode. So if you are a returning viewer, you know exactly what I'm going to say. And this episode calls for it more than ever. Grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, get a blanket, sit back, relax, enjoy going through this with me. And if you are new here, firstly, please do subscribe, like this video, and introduce yourself in the comments. But yeah, it's imperative that you grab a cup of tea, grab a coffee, and if at all possible, take some time just to enjoy going through this with me and improving your English in a natural and authentic way. So, there we go. As I said, my wife and I had a cold all weekend. And when you have a cold, you just feel rubbish. Your body aches, your throat hurts, you can't talk, you're blowing your nose every 2 minutes, and it's infuriating. And you don't want to do anything, generally speaking. You just want to rest, have hot chocolate, coffee, tea, and just get better. And part of that recovery process generally involves cozy films. But what do we mean by that? Well, first, let's establish what we are talking about when we even say that word cozy. So we're going to start off by elaborating upon that word. Okay, so we're going to elaborate upon that word cozy. Now, if you are watching on YouTube, you can read along with me as we go through this. But if you're watching on Spotify, oh my goodness. If you are listening on Spotify, then hopefully soon there will be PDFs available for you to download. But if not, have a listen on Spotify, then jump over to YouTube and read along with me. But let's first just dive into that beautiful, to that lovely word, cozy. It's a word then that in and of itself just makes you feel warm inside, doesn't it? And it's an adjective that describes that feeling of warmth, comfort, relaxation. It makes you feel snug, makes you feel safe. It's welcoming. And we often use it to describe physical spaces, environments, relationships, or situations that really evoke or bring about that sense of just contentment, that sense of relax, that sense of ease. What comes to your mind when you think of cozy? Perhaps it is a physical space. You think of a small cabin in the woods, so cozy with a fireplace, soft blankets, warm lighting, snowing a little bit outside. Or for others, it's on a beach with the crashing of the waves and just the calm sea air. It gives you that atmosphere, that feeling of cozy just by the physical space itself. Sometimes people are able to decorate their rooms in a cozy way. For example, we could say she decorated her living room with soft throws and pillows, creating a cozy space for reading on winter evenings. Is that setting the scene for you for what, just that cozy feeling? It's all about blankets, pillows, comfort, relaxation. Sometimes we can describe an atmosphere or an ambience as cozy. For example, the cafe had a cozy ambience with dim lighting, jazz music playing softly in the background. It's calming, it's relaxing, it's comforting. Perhaps you can think of somewhere that you have visited. There's plenty of little coffee shops in London and in Kent, where I'm from, but they just got those cozy vibes. You walk in and you just get that sense of comfort, that sense of relaxation. As another example sentence, we could say, I love the cozy feel of my favourite bookstore, where I can curl up in a chair and read for hours. Maybe you've got a shop like this near you, a little bookshop. It's got cozy, perhaps it's a little bit quaint, quirky, individual, but it just gives you that sense. It gives you that atmosphere of feeling cozy. And sometimes we often describe a situation as being cozy. For example, if I was to say to you, there's nothing like a cozy night in with a good book and a cup of tea. A cozy night in. We're describing that particular situation as cozy. You've got nowhere else to be, got a cup of tea and a good book. Calming, relaxing. Or the winter storm outside made them feel even cozier as they huddled together by the fire. I know where I grew up in Kent, there's a little cottage in a little village, and we had a fire in the living room, and that fire actually heated up our whole house. So I actually have a vivid memory of it snowing outside, chucking it down with snow. So as a kid, you're just so excited by the prospect of snow. Then inside the living room, we just had this warm fire, family huddled around it, listening to music, playing games. Personally, you don't get cozier than that. So we're getting the essence of this word, cozy. And it's very individual. It's whatever makes you feel that warmth inside, whether it is a physical space, whether it is an atmosphere, whether it's a situation, a person. It just makes you feel content, at ease, calm and relaxed. Some synonyms for cozy, we could say comfortable, snug, inviting, warm, or especially in British English, one that I love to use is homely. Maybe you walk into a restaurant and you just say to yourself, God, it's got a really homely atmosphere. It's cozy, it's calming, relaxing, just like home. And some related expressions with cozy, we might say to cozy up. They cozied up by the fire after coming in from the cold. So if we cozy up, get close to someone or something to feel warm or comfortable. Just that relaxation. Or to make yourself cozy, to settle in comfortably. Often, in a prepared, comforting setting. Maybe you get your pajamas on, get a blanket. She made herself cozy on the couch with a blanket. And why has that changed that to hot cocoa? That should be hot chocolate. I don't know why it's done that to hot cocoa. Hot chocolate. We don't say hot cocoa in British English. Just if you're listening on Spotify, there's a typo on YouTube. I still struggle with the idea of being professional, but we're getting there. You know, that's the idea. Make yourself cozy. Settle down. Relax. So do you get the aspect, the idea of this feeling of cozy? It's such a beautiful word. And when it comes to coziness, it's all about just creating and enjoying environments that promote comfort, warmth, relaxation. And it's very individual. What we would class as cozy is very personal. And we're going to dive into that a little bit more. But it's often associated with small, quiet moments, especially in cold weather. Where I'm from, it's when warmth and shelter are particularly inviting. But your coziness might be in a hot environment. Whatever it is, there's no right or wrong cozy. It's very individual. But what about this idea of a cozy film? That's what we're talking about. Well, a cozy film is one that evokes or brings about feelings of warmth, comfort, a sense of relaxation or familiarity. So a cozy film is one that just gives you that feeling of coziness. And it's very subjective, isn't it? Meaning that we all have different ideas of cozy films. So as we go through this article, you might think, well, actually, that's not my definition of a cozy film. My idea of a cozy film is an action-packed thriller that I can get my teeth into. It may well be, but we're going to talk on a generic level now of what is generically or most commonly viewed as a cozy film. So we're going to read an article together, which is why do we find different films cozy? So we're going to take it paragraph by paragraph, and then we'll talk about it and break down some of the vocabulary that we go through. So here we go. Why do we find different films cozy? For many people, cozy films offer a unique sense of comfort, warmth, and nostalgia. They allow us to step away from the fast pace and uncertainties of real life and enter a world that feels familiar and safe. Often, cozy films have slower, more predictable plots, which can be calming rather than boring. When we watch a cozy film, we are able to settle into a narrative that we know will bring resolution, often with a happy ending, gentle humour, or a sweet, uplifting storyline. So as I say, this very generic idea of a cozy film, but for me, it's true. Let me know in the comments, is this true of you? Or do you have a different idea of what a cozy film? So it says, at the beginning, it offers a unique sense of comfort. And unique in the sense that it's all individual, isn't it? It's very individual what we find to be a cozy film. So comfort, warmth, but often we associate nostalgia with a cozy film. And that feeling of nostalgia is a fond remembering of the past. If something makes us feel nostalgia or nostalgic, it just makes us think back to the past. Sometimes it's a smell, sometimes it's a piece of music, but in this case it might be a film that just reminds us of a nice time from years ago, from the past. And cozy films, I like that. It allows us just to take a step away from this crazy life, this fast pace, uncertainties of real life. If the uncertainties are all the things that we just don't know day to day, all the aspects of life that we have to deal with that are not certain. And when we watch a cozy film, we take a step out of that uncertain, fast-paced real life, and we enter a world for a couple of hours that is familiar. We know what's going to happen. It's safe. And often cozy films, they've got a slower pace. Perhaps it's a little bit of a predictable plot, but very often it's a film we've seen before. So rather than being boring as such, the focus is on the fact that they are calming. And we can settle into a narrative, a storyline that we know will bring resolution. So we know that it's going to end well. We know what's going to happen. Generally speaking, they've got a happy ending. gentle humour, or an uplifting storyline. Once again, I know this is very generic, and for you, this might not be the case as to what you find a cosy film. Please do let me know. Send me an email, gslenglish1@gmail.com, if this is not your idea of a cosy film. But we're just talking in generic terms. So let's keep on reading. A big part of what makes a film cosy is the way it relates to our personal memories and backgrounds. Each person has different experiences, relationships, and memories that influence what they find comforting. For instance, someone who grew up in a big family might feel comforted by family-centric movies, while someone else might find comfort in films about friendship, adventure, or even small-town life. These films can remind us of happy times, close bonds, or familiar routines, and this sense of recognition helps us relax and feel at ease. So it starts off by saying here, that cosy films often relate to us personally, memories and backgrounds. And we all have different experiences in life, don't we? That's without a question true. It's undeniable. We all have different experiences in life. We grew up in different settings. For example, it says somebody that grew up in a big family. Their cosy films might be family-centric movies. So movies that are centered around a core family unit. While there might be someone in a different situation that their cosy film is based around a strong friendship, or meeting people, adventure, or life in a small town. Basically, it's anything that reminds us of happy times in our life. Or perhaps, I was thinking about this when I was preparing this podcast, what might be our cosy is going to another universe. For me, I love Star Wars. I absolutely love it. Now, of course, I can't relate to a galaxy far, far away. I can't relate to a lot of it. I've never experienced it. As much as I would love to, it's not happened. But I was thinking about it. Why do I love it so much? Because it ties back to watching Star Wars with my dad and brother. So there's that nostalgic element. So, okay, I can't connect with the story in a sense of experience, but we go to a deeper level. I watch Star Wars with my dad and my brother. So it brings back that feeling of warmth, comfort, and just feeling of ease. We're familiar with it. It's that sense of recognition that helps us to relax. And at this point, try and think of your film that makes you feel like that. As we go through, associate this with your life. Give it context with your personal experience. Another reason certain films feel cozy is due to their setting or environment. Often, cozy films are set in picturesque locations, snowy mountains, small coastal towns, or lush forests. These scenes create a kind of visual comfort. For example, holiday films often have scenes with glowing fireplaces, warm lighting, and snowy backdrops. These visuals trigger feelings of warmth and coziness, even if it's summer outside. The scenery, lighting, and even the colour palette of these films create a sensory experience that adds to the cozy feeling. It's true, isn't it? Cozy films, or the films that we generally find cozy, have a certain setting or environment. And it's said in that paragraph that they're often set in picturesque locations. If something is picturesque, it's worthy of a picture. Beautiful, idyllic. Might be a snowy mountain, a small town by the beach, a forest. Could be in a city. Whatever it is. But it's creating that visual comfort, the aspects to it of what we see, the lighting, the colour palette, it all adds to that cozy feeling, and it's all linked to our senses, isn't it? So there's a certain setting or environment that often relates to a cozy film. Another aspect is seen in the next paragraph. Characters in cosy films are often a significant part of what makes us feel at home in the story. Many of these characters are kind, funny, or relatable, meaning that we can understand them, we relate to their lives. They remind us of people we know or wish we knew, like a supportive friend, a loving grandparent, or a quirky, strange, unusual neighbour. For example, in the British film Paddington, the main character is a bear with a pure heart, bringing kindness wherever he goes. This warmth in characters resonates with us, or strikes a chord with us, and makes us feel as though we are part of the story. And this is a massive aspect for me of Cosy films. It's those relatable characters. Those characters that make you feel at home. And this might be, we might relate with them on different levels. For example, they might remind us of people we know, or perhaps wish we knew. Might remind us of a friend that we always wanted or had. A loving grandparent that we once had. You know, we connect with the characters on a personal level, whether that's because they remind us of someone that we knew, or perhaps someone that we wanted to know, that we wish we had in our lives, that we didn't. So we almost associate that character with our own life, and it brings that sense of comfort. And it talks about the film Paddington, of course, the very famous Paddington Bear. Beautiful film. That is the epitome of a cosy film. It's about a bear with a pure heart that brings kindness wherever he goes. What film is going to make you feel better than that? But the warmth of that character is what makes it so successful. Just that connection with the character on different levels. It does kind of make you feel like you're part of it. Although with Paddington, it almost makes you feel like you know that bear. It's really interesting. Another reason cosy films feel comfortable is because they usually have low levels of stress or conflict. In everyday life, stress can be overwhelming. So a film that keeps things light and easy provides a welcome escape. Cosy films often avoid intense action or heavy drama. Again, very subjective. Opting instead for small, heartfelt moments. For instance, instead of grand confrontations, a cosy film might focus on two friends reconciling over a cup of tea, or a family working together to decorate their house for the holidays. These low-stakes scenarios are relaxing, letting us enjoy the story without tension. Again, this is very subjective because what one finds cosy might not be another's cup of tea. Just speaking in a generic sense, this article. But generally speaking, cosy films try to take you away from the stress and normality of life, opting or choosing the option instead for just small, relaxed storylines with heartfelt moments. Perhaps you can think of films like that. And they do that because the stakes are low, meaning that what happens in the film, it's not going to change the world. The stakes aren't high. No one's really going to suffer. And because of that, we're relaxed. We can enjoy the story without tension. Sometimes we watch films and you're on the edge of your seat, or you find your whole body is tense because you're so worried about what is going to happen. Cosy films don't do that. We just chill. We just enjoy it. For some, cosy films have a nostalgic element, reminding us of our past. Certain movies, perhaps ones we watched as children or during a special time in our lives, carry powerful memories. Rewatching these films is like reuniting with an old friend. They remind us of who we were and the experiences that shaped us. This is why some people watch the same movies every year during holidays or on quiet weekends. It's a way of connecting with the past and re-experiencing cherished memories. I thought this was a really lovely paragraph. When I think of the cosy films that I like to watch, they're films that I'm re-watching. I'm watching them again because they carry powerful memories of the past, of being a child. And you just relate back to that. And I guess you almost get that feeling of being a child again. And you kind of re-experience cherished memories. Something that we cherish is something that we hold dear to us. So perhaps we're in a point now where we're living on our own, working hard, and sometimes that gets too much. We're only human, aren't we? Sometimes it gets a lot. And we just need to just go back to feeling like a child. So we chuck on a cozy film that we used to watch at home, nice and relaxed, and it just brings back that sense of calm. It's nostalgia. That was a point that really resonated with me. Cozy films also give us a sense of control and predictability. Knowing that things will turn out well in the end is reassuring, especially in a world that can often feel chaotic. In a cozy film, we can sit back and let ourselves be carried along without worrying about unexpected twists or upsetting endings. This predictability lets us fully relax, knowing that we are in a safe, happy world, if only for a little while. So that's an interesting point, that cozy films give us a sense of control and predictability. If something is predictable, we know what is going to happen. And that brings a sense of reassurance. And it kind of connects it with a chaotic life where often it is very unpredictable. We don't know what is going to happen. But in a cozy film, we don't have to feel that for a couple of hours that we watch that film. It's predictable. Nothing, no badness or no horrible situation is going to be thrown at us. We just know what to expect. And it's that predictability that brings the cozy, relaxing element. Knowing that we're safe. We're good. We're in a happy world. In this world, whatever that film is, we can just relax. Additionally, the dialogue in cozy films often contributes to the warm atmosphere. Characters tend to speak in gentle, encouraging tones, using language that's light-hearted and reassuring. Jokes are playful rather than edgy, and conflicts are mild and quickly resolved. This soft, gentle way of talking adds to the feeling that we are in a world where things are calm and safe. Language in cozy films tend to be family-friendly, making them feel suitable for all ages and ideal for group viewing with family and friends. Again, this might not be the case for you. Please let me know in the comments if it's not, but it's presenting the idea here that the dialogue in cozy films is good for the whole family, generally speaking. It talks about it being family friendly, meaning that there's not really any swearing in it. The jokes are gentle, not harsh, crass or rude. They're not edgy. Conflicts are mild and they're resolved. So you can see the idea here of a cozy film, that it's suitable for the whole family to relax, to calm down, to chill, to escape perhaps the difficulties of normal life. Ultimately, cozy films cater to a need for warmth, connection, and simplicity in our lives. If something is catered a certain way, it is directed for a certain purpose. It is created to fill a certain need. They let us experience feelings of happiness, love, and nostalgia in a way that's gentle and comforting. Whether it's through familiar characters, beautiful settings, or predictable plots, cozy films invite us to slow down, connect with our emotions, and simply enjoy the moment. In a world that can sometimes feel too fast and complicated, these films remind us of the joy in simple things. Cater to a need for warmth, connection, and simplicity. And that's exactly what I wanted when I had a cold on Saturday. Just wanted that simplicity, that fun. Just a film that makes you feel that warmth inside. Happiness, love, nostalgia. It's gentle, it's comforting. And that's really, to me, the epitome of a cozy film. It's that relatable aspect that just makes you feel calm, makes you feel relaxed, like everything's going to be okay. And, in a world that sometimes feel too fast and complicated, cozy films just take it back to the simplicity of life, and we can just have a break from all of that. And particularly when we're not feeling well or feeling a bit down, that's where cozy films come in. Just to put us back on a base level of just contentment and calm. So it's interesting, isn't it? We all have our different cozy films. And by the way, if you just heard a notification on my phone, I do apologise. Very unprofessional. I forgot to turn it off, which is not the first time that's happened. But what's your cozy film? At this point, please do let me know. What films do you want to watch that give you this feeling? Or perhaps for you, this isn't really the definition of a cozy film. Perhaps you've got a different idea of what a cozy film is. I would love to know. Get involved in the comments. But just as a note, as regards learning English, cozy films are a brilliant way to do this. Or basically, any film that we are familiar with is a great way of improving your English, because you take out the unpredictable element. You take out trying to understand the story, and you can just focus on what's being said. So don't undermine the ability of rewatching films. If there's a film that makes you feel comfortable, makes you feel relaxed, so it really helps you to just chill and enjoy the English. So I would encourage this. Rewatch films that you find comforting, that you find relaxing, with the focus of English. Focus on what's being said. Focus on expressions, idioms, the character development, and use that to your advantage, because you're taking away the element of the unknown. You're creating an atmosphere where you feel calm, where you feel relaxed, and you're much more likely to retain information. So, just an idea there. Keep that in mind. So what are my cozy films? Well, firstly, my cozy films are anything Star Wars, particularly the original 3. So that is A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. They are my ultimate cozy films. They remind me of being back in that cottage I spoke about earlier, on a tiny TV with my whole family, the fire roaring after a roast dinner, and chucking Star Wars on with my dad falling asleep and my brother and I being obsessed with it. It brings back nostalgia. It brings back that feeling of warmth, comfort. A film I always chuck on, I absolutely love, one of my favourite films ever, School of Rock. I absolutely love School of Rock. Many of you know I'm a musician. I love drumming. I love rock music. And that film, I think I saw it when I was probably about 12. It just struck a chord with me on so many levels. Jack Black was amazing in that film. He's the teacher that I never had, that I always wanted. Again, it comes back to that point of cozy films often present a character that we never had in our life, but we always wanted. Jack Black plays a character called Ned Schneebly, or actually Dewey Finn, but he impersonates a guy called Ned Schneebly. If you haven't seen this film, absolutely brilliant. Harmless fun, cozy film, brilliant. And the soundtrack is awesome. So School of Rock. I'm going to go for a classic here, Home Alone. Love it. You know, just a brilliant, brilliant film. It just makes you feel warm and happy. Great storyline. Watched it when did I watch it? Last winter with my family. We all just loved it. And I think the first film for me that I ever went to see in the cinema was Toy Story. And I went to see that with my grandfather. I think it was in 1994. I was 4 years old. Oof, my goodness, I'm getting old. Yeah, 1994. And that film for me is definitely a cozy film. It just takes me back to the cinema with a wooden seat, sitting on the edge of my seat, wishing my toys would come alive. And even today when I watch it, I still get that element of just calmness, that element of just relaxing, that ease, and just that feeling of being cozy. So yeah, I can't think of any more right now, actually. Do I have any more cozy films? Oh, if I do, I'll let you know. I'll let you know in the comments. Let me know your cozy films. I would love to know what works for you and what gives you that particular feeling. But there you go. So a little bit more of a relaxed episode today. As if you are new here, that's what I try and do with the podcast. I try and take something from real life and turn it into a discussion that we can talk about, we can elaborate upon and improve our English. And that was one of them. So yeah, luckily I'm over the cold now, but unfortunately my poor wife, bless her heart, is still suffering with a cold. So hopefully she does improve soon. And she might be joining me again on the podcast, which would be an absolute treat for myself and for you. So there we go. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, remember, just relax when it comes to English. It's all good. If you're feeling stressed with it at the moment, try and take a step back. Just refocus. This is a journey that we're on for a long time, so we might as well find ways to enjoy it. So yeah, you've got this. I believe in you all. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this episode if you haven't done so already, and I will see you all very soon. Have a good one, guys.